Good morning.
Went a little early there, huh?
I was a day early and a day late.
A little early. So, lots to talk about today. We not just got back.
On our harrowing flight of death.
You seen Almost Famous, the movie?
Yes.
When they're on the airplane and they think they're going down and they start being honest about everything. Like, oh, I'm having an affair with your wife. And the other guy's like, I'm gay. And everyone starts saying about what they are. We had one of those flights on the way back from Boston.
Mm-hmm. And I looked 5 rows up and Dave looked 5 rows down and our eyes caught.
I said...
And I was like, this
is really the way we're going to go? Because, what was it? Electronics weren't working on the
landing gear.
The landing gear. It was beautiful.
Nothing like landing the plane in the city you're not supposed to and have 40 fire trucks, 20 on each side of the plane, waiting for your arrival to think things out.
Yeah, they were ready for an accident.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yep.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Boston. There's a lot of little nitpicky things, but I think the number one thing we should talk about, is this NAR's commitment to excellence. I'm not going to be too mean to it. I know a lot of the people who were part of putting it together. We're going to talk about whether or not it has enough teeth, and what's the difference between a commitment and a suggestion, because is it a suggestion of excellence or is it commitment excellence? So we'll talk about that. We're going to be talking about the October 2018 stats. It may be time for me to concede if we are in a buyer or seller market. I'm not quite there yet.
Concede. I just like the word concede.
We also have 2 special guests today, Wesley Friedman with FBC, Fresh Baked Cookie Home Loans, and Francine Willis. And then let's just do an update real quick for the Urban Nest agents. Number 1, we'll be closed in honor of Veterans Day on Monday. This is Monday coming up.
Yes,
correct?
sir.
And then the day after, on the 13th, Tuesday, we have the 7th annual Potluck. So
I will be making meatballs for 2 days, just so you know.
And those of you at Urban Nest that will be bringing things in Potluck, please put your name underneath your meal so I know who made what.
Now, the good and bad to that is he may not eat some of that, but he may eat it too. So,
kind of want to know the origin of food, although we always joke, if you knew what was in a restaurant, you'd never eat there. Okay, so let's just jump right into the stats, and then we'll talk about the commitment to excellence once we get Wes and Francine in. We have the stats right here. The main numbers are: the median price dropped to $295. So we had seen a raise from $295 to $300, and now back down to $295.
You did 5 news stories last month that we hit the 300.
Yep.
First time back in the 3s since
2007. Yes.
But we went back down. Doesn't mean the sky is falling. Absolutely not. I believe that a lot of people were diverted with the election, and now that's over. So the election's over. Who won, and we now have to move on in the light that, yes, Las Vegas is ready. We're willing and able to get some homes sold. We have a glut of inventory compared.
Here we go with freaking glut. Is not a glut. It's 2.5 months supply.
2.5 months.
Which is not a glut.
And a 4-week suppy of buyers. If the buyers come back out.
No.
How many supply of buyers do you think we have?
It's a 2.5 month supply. The buyers were units sold 2,686 single family homes sold last month. That was a 10% increase from the month before that in buyers.
That's good.
That's what I'm saying.
But what doesn't
tell the whole story.
I know it doesn't. But what did NAR all say? You know what everyone at NAR said?
It's time to go to work.
It's time to go to work. It's time to stop overpricing the listing pool.
And that I could agree with you.
That is one of the reasons buyers are out there to buy, but they feel that they don't want to buy in an overpriced market. So,
and we're on the same page there. So I keep talking about threshold, right? So if we're on the up, we may have peaked okay, as far as price. I personally don't think so. I think we're plateauing.
I agree with you.
You do agree with that? We're
I
plateauing.
totally agree.
So I think we're plateauing, and then we will see that single-digit appreciation for a couple more years. Who knows what exactly?
I believe in January and February after the holiday, and the people start in California and these states looking at what their tax bills are going to be with the new tax law, that our Las Vegas is going to look so attractive to move to.
And so, you know, even though this is more Vegas-based, I believe this also takes, after all the election and watching,
Reno.
I think Reno's on the same exact trajectory as us.
With all the internet-based and Tesla, Reno has now come to be.
Same thing.
And so also people bailing out of San Francisco saying that the homeless has gone.
It's not, but that's not even it. It's just expensive to live there.
Expensive.
So you got the Northern California's going to Northern Nevada. Southern California's coming to Southern Nevada. So I don't know for the rest of the country. And I believe, though, the rest of the country will see something similar. There are some bubble spots.
Yeah, there's always bubble spots.
But I believe we're going to plateau and then boom, right back up. 2.5 supply. But everything is reflected towards what you've been saying is a buyer's market.
Right.
The 0 to 30 days on the market has dropped to 65% from 70.
Got it.
Okay.
That's still beautiful.
So what that means is, last month we were looking at 70% of all homes go into escrow within 30 days. This month it's down to 65% of all homes go into 30 days. But it didn't go to 90. All the numbers stayed 61 to 90. It just transferred to 31 to 60. So last month we saw 70% of houses go into escrow between 0 to 30, an additional 16.5 go into escrow from 31 to 60. This month, 65% from 0 to 30, 20% from 30 to 60. So what that means is it's adjusting out, right? Back to what we said. It's time to go to work. And I think that, for me, all the classes I attended was it's accountability time for realtors for the last 3 years who were just riding the wave of a great seller's market and not necessarily knowing exactly how to correctly market a property, how to negotiate a property. It was literally, a lot of cases, put the house on the market and you're gonna get multiple offers. Yes. Whereas now talking about price reductions and knowing your statistics on when the market's going, how many days on the market, how to professional photos, Matterport, social media, Facebook targeting, open houses, again, the essentials, strategic open houses, mega open houses, things like that. That's going to set the maybe middle of the road agent from the professional listing agent. Don't you agree on that?
Yes, and for those of you out there that are buyers or sellers and agents, I'll just give you an example. In Red Rock Country Club where I live, there's about 40 houses for sale. I always look at the houses for sale and I could pick 99%, I pick the next house to sell. And why do I? I see an upgraded, updated home priced to the last comparable sale price. And then you know within a few $1,000s, that house is going to sell. That's what we say about being priced right. It's not rocket science. Don't go, ooh. And another misconception people talked about, the public seems to think the market is still burning hot.
No.
And it is not burning hot. The market has slowed down. I'm not telling anyone to give their house away or the buyers to overpay. Pay the price of the last same comparable house and you will do fine.
It's all about positioning, right? And the reason why you're able to, and I think most great realtors are able to kind of predict what house is going to go next, is it's taking into all those factors of what it looks like versus how it's being positioned / marketed versus how much it's listed for. Your points of listing it to the comps is probably the strongest point out there, but it seems kind of counterintuitive for a lot of people now because it was listed above the comps. It's a small shift in your mindset of, all right, list to what everyone else is paying, not to what they think it's going to be. And that, I think, is a big shift.
And then we have what's called chasing the market. So you say, you know what, I love you, but I want to list it 20,000 higher. Now you listed 20,000 higher and you're getting no bids, and that's the first life of your listing. And then you say, all right, I get to 20 down, and now it's an older, stale listing.
Yep.
The market may have gotten slower. So list at the last sales price, and your house will sell, because we do have, like Dave said, about 2,700 buyers a month looking for homes.
And that's the reality. I mean, the houses that are sitting on the market, they're sitting because they're not positioned correctly. That's the bottom line. If it's a good deal or if it's positioned correctly, it's going to go. And I believe that. It's
So funny. We were in Boston this week at the NAR conference, and Vegas is the land of new. We were looking at these old brownstones and building, going, "Wow, how cool, how beautiful." So talk about city and market.
Well, it's already baked into their mentality of, I'm going to have to put work into this home. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, even when we lived in Long Island in New York, we were always in some transition of remember, we're like, oh, we did the bedrooms, we'll do the bathroom down the line, we'll work on the deck down the line. It's like as you save money, you upgraded your house. That was how old was our house? Like 80 years old?
It was built in 1930.
1930. So
and
it was
we
like
moved in what year you were born?
40, and then so exactly. So that's where we are with the market. Is it a buyer's market? I don't think so. I think there are pockets of it. I think it's an even market. I think it is as...
Wait a minute. You started this as
I was teasing.
You baited
I baited you. Now, we even had Amy McCarthy saying, am I conceding? No, this is not a concession speech. I want a recount.
There have been a few concession speeches last night.
So, no, I believe that it is just like accountability is coming for agents, accountability is coming for the market. And it's a good thing. Okay? All right, let's jump right into, we're going to jump into our partners, and then we will talk about NAR. So come on in, Miss Francine Willis. So
she's going to do a concession speech too, saying she truly is older than me. But
oh God,
that's a lie. So I guess that concession.
So Francine's are you on your way to vacay?
I'm on my way. I'm actually on vacay today, but because you guys are so special,
she's
where you going?
I'm going to the Caribbean.
Oh, nice.
And I'm leaving at 4 in the morning. So
Bahama, come on, pretty mama.
No, we're going to Aruba. But for all of you guys out there, hello. And I will be on vacation, and I'll be back November 19th. But today I want to talk about thanking the Tinas, the family, Urban Nest, for letting me be part of the family, because with Older Public Home Protection and me on the team.
We are going all the way out to Facebook, everybody as well. I want to let you know that.
Oh.
Not
to
just,
the world.
Not just Urban Nest back office.
Global.
It's
global.
Everybody as well. So now she's nervous. Let me give you a...
No, I have still the same thing I said to everybody else.
Good. See, that's the way we do it. Let me, what's the word? Let me tee you up a little bit.
Team, yeah.
So Francine's been with us since pretty much day one, right?
And before.
Day one.
And before at other places, and has one of the best, if not the best, product out there in the home warranty game. Old Republic, amazing. You've been with them for a long time as well. Listen, I'll let her do her spiel, but I will say this. Home warranties, the vendors that come out, work on your house, there's really only so much control you can have of that over how they perform. What you do have control over is who is your rep for the home warranty company that you use, and if and when, mostly if, something goes wrong, you gotta have an advocate on your side, and Francine's amazing at that. So, it's all yours.
Well, with that kind of introduction, you gotta know that's pretty powerful. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And for all of us that have warranties on our home, including myself, the reason I'm with Older Public Home Protection is because I sold against them in the early 80s and 90s and couldn't figure out the secret. Well, the secret is that we're run by Gwen Gallagher. And Gwen Gallagher has been with our company since she's 19 years old and worked her way up to the top, and has been our president for a very long time, over 30 years. We will be celebrating 45 years of protecting your assets with Older Public Home Protection nationwide. And we rank number 3 in the nation, and we don't sell direct to consumer. You're not going to see a commercial for Older Public on television, and you're not going to find us at your your inbox from your homeowner's mortgage. But that being said, one of the goals for Francine Willis with Older Public Home Protection in the last quarter and the 2019 coming up the next year is to help you be better, stronger, and faster. And how do we make you better? Well, first of all, we deliver products that are pure, that don't have hidden surprises. And in our contract, which is in your offices, it is the contract in our brochure. So when you give your client a copy of that, they see what we do, how we do it, and what we're gonna do to take care of them. We give you 3 choices of coverage, a standard, an ultimate, and a platinum. And the platinum is unique to Older Public, and you're not gonna get it from any other company. Any other company you're looking at, you compare to their middle plan to their highest level. And that being said, our prices start at $375 for homes under 5,000 square feet and $330 for condos and townhome and mobile home under 5,000 square feet. You can add refrigerator, washer, dryer options, water softener, and an array of many others. We have a very, very extensive list of options. But it's knowing that when you give out the product, that I'm on your team, and my team is your team. You can only get to my team by having Older Public Home Protection on the job. And when you close that escrow and you're the buyer's agent, we have a built-in buyer follow-up program for you, which we can talk about at a later date and on a one-to-one interview, which I do quite often throughout the year. The other thing, why are we gonna make you faster? We're gonna make you faster because we're optimized to make you be able to work on your phone, your iPad, your Samsung, whatever it is. I teach mobility. Since I live my life in my office in the car coming to you, I'll show you how to use Older Public Home Protection's toolbox in the click of a finger, and you'll be surprised that you can order online right in front of your escrow officer on your iPhone, your Samsung, whatever it is you've got, and I'll show you how to be mobile. I'll also show you the marketing tools that are customizable so that you can go out and get the business and keep the business with built-in follow-up programs, a monthly newsletter you can deliver every month to your clients. Oh, and most important, you want to make sure you get those calendars out. They were delivered to the toolbox, the 2019, and those should be going out to your clients right now. The other thing that's important.
Sorry, you're on a roll.
Oh, so we want to make you better. We want to make you faster. With me on the team, those are going to happen. But let's talk about being stronger. If you're giving out 3 brochures for warranties and your client has no idea what that means or which one to pick, let's get it to be stronger. Let's let them know that in the contract that you're giving out, it's telling them what they have and what they don't have. If you give your client that brochure with Older Public Home Protection and they need direction, get them to me. They can email me at francinew@orhp.com. They can call my 1-800 number, 1-800-282-7131, extension 1151, and my cell is 702-604-2004. I'll help them make that decision. I have an assistant who will help them and a support team that will do the same. At the end of the day, when you hire me to be your home warranty specialist on the team, I do just that. If a situation occurs, you're not sure of it, you have a question, you need my help, again, email it to my email and let myself and the team go to work for you.
We have all of that right here listed underneath. Phone number, email, and all your information.
Wow.
Francine, you are a machine.
Enjoy your vacation.
Yes.
And we'll be here taking care of your home warranties.
Beautiful.
Thank you, and guys, I know that I'm leaving the country, but don't worry. My team is going to take care of you, and if they don't, I'll be back on the 19th to make sure you are taken care of. And please, for those of you who are countering me out of the deals, don't do that. Leave me in. When my clients around the area, the state here, are putting in Older Public, leave us in. It's the best protection on the planet, and we protect your assets one client at a time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good time.
Enjoy Aruba.
Can I get a Skittles?
Aruba, Bonaire. Hey guys, take care. I'll see you
Take care.
after the Thanksgiving party because I won't be here.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Bye.
There is this.
You know what I love about Francine? She doesn't even wait for the questions. Right in. She is a machine.
Grass grows
Machine.
not under her feet.
Go.
Okay, while we're waiting for Wes, a quick second. Let's give a plug for WCR. They still have some tickets available.
Yes, good point.
Friday at the Marriott and
JW Marriott.
JW Marriott, and we're welcoming Lisa Waldeck as the president, Christina
Chippin?
Chipman as the president-elect,
Who else we got out there? We got
Christina-
Bobby Dust,
Bobby
Christina
Stardust,
Kova.
Gina Cova Simmons.
Who else?
They still have tickets available. Call Lisa, call any of those people. They still have tickets available, and we're gonna have fun Friday night. They're gonna put on a nice event. So if you haven't bought them, call Lisa Waldeck or any of those people and get your last shot. We'll be there. We have a table, and we're gonna have some fun.
And we're announcing we will be a what are we? Gold?
We are a gold.
A gold sponsor
Of
of WCR
CR
for
for
2019 to support that entire
so,
group.
if you're listening and you haven't got your ticket, go for it.
So, always a pleasure and fun to have on Mr. Wesley Friedman.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
Wes, for those of you who don't know, I always like to bring this up, and I know like it probably gets boring, but Francine's been here from day one. We have a lot of people been here from day one, but nobody
Was numero uno.
was numero uno like Mr. Friedman. Yeah, I mean, found out through grapevine we were opening and believed in us and invested with us from day one. So we have the way we treat our people, the loyalty to give it back. So he is part of our, I hate to use the word family, but that's really the only thing I can think of here. And he's part of who we are here. So he's been to every single, I think, holiday party we've had as a company.
Inception, sure.
Yeah.
You guys, and I appreciate the opportunity. It's so nice to be aligned with companies that hold values that are consistent with the way we work. So thank you for that.
Thanks, buddy. We'll talk about, so let's get with, you know what I love about Wes? He comes prepared.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna throw him all the curveballs.
Let's see.
Well, let him
But-
at least jump into
Yeah,
what
yeah, he'll do it
he
instead of-
knows.
He knows. I always want him update.
Well,
the
he's going
market
to tell you about
update.
the interest rates right now, all right?
I
Go
love
ahead.
So, right now we're having I guess a coming to Jesus, a heart-to-heart with many of our clients that aren't in tune with the way rates are going. It wasn't just about 2.5 years ago where rates were 3.5% on a 30-year fixed. Now you're looking at 5.25% in most cases on a 30-year fixed mortgage. So
Really, that?
yeah, they're
How
going
much?
up about 5 to 5.25, depending on criteria and credit scores and things of that nature. So, sitting with clients that don't follow the market are shocked, and that's where we're looking at different types of loan programs. I'm seeing more and more discount points being charged. In fact, I ran a scenario before I got here. So, on a $300,000 loan, if you did a 1% loan discount point, 1% of the loan amount, so in this case, let's call it $3,000, you could reduce your interest rate a 0.5 point. So you're basically taking that cost and using it to buy down the rate under the market. And so the difference in savings was $57 a month to do that. It would take someone 50.16 months, almost just over 6 years,
That's the answer.
to recapture that cost. So now when we're doing buy downs, particularly in my situation, is I'm only using those if I have a client because of their debt to income ratios can't qualify at the prevailing rate, then we're gonna go in there and buy it down. Other proposals from other banks, the bigger banks, it's common. We don't charge a loan origination fee. I always let my client choose that, but in most cases, the cost up front, it takes a while to recapture it, you may not.
Doesn't make sense.
Is it a write-off?
A portion of closing costs are. I would defer to a CPA on that.
Still not worth it, though.
But when we look at a historical rate chart, we're already, I would say 3 years into an upward interest rate hike. Usually every 8 to 9 years, they'll spill over again. So if you have to wait 6 years and rates fall in 4, you just wasted money by buying down that interest rate.
Could use that money to refi, right, and get the
Exactly.
cheaper rate.
What about non-conforming?
Non-conforming jumbo loans are gonna always be about a 3/8 to a quarter better than that of conventional because of the fact that they are non-QM regulated, less paperwork, less oversight, which means they can pass along a.
So if I go buy a house today, I can get it in the 4 still?
Probably 4.875 jumbo, maybe.
No problem.
Yeah.
So we
Depending on payment.
met with Fannie and Freddie, and the thing that always gets to me, and I fight it, but it's a hard fight, is that the FHA
Loan limit?
loan limit. So when do you guys? They're saying the end of the month we're gonna hear, and I'm sure you're more tuned in. So when does that usually come by?
You know what? They make an announcement usually annually.
And then you know.
Then we know, and they go on the medium income. What is that in affordability and make up the loan amount?
Well,
So-
I left because our median price went to 300, and when they gave us the rate
And now
now,
it's 300, not 295.
well,
You're gonna
295
use
is.
it for it?
I'm always going to use the numbers in my favor. I am not. But anyway, even at 295, it's so much higher than where they set it last year. And I just hope that we could see an increase so we can make this more affordable to the people that cannot get a loan. You know, as a city, we have great unemployment, but not high-end unemployment. So I'm really
So
hoping
what?
those
So
numbers go
in
up.
that relation, I know you're gonna talk about some programs. So if someone can't go FHA, 3% down, what are we dealing with? Pretty much an affordability. I wouldn't call it a crisis, but definitely an issue. How are you feeling in that?
Well, I mean, we're going to look at different loan programs. I think that there's going to be a higher popularity of adjustable rate mortgages coming in the market. Right now, there's not a big appetite on Wall Street for that program, so you'll look at a 30-year fixed versus maybe a 5-year fixed ARM, and the difference in rate isn't attractive enough for that client to select an adjustable rate mortgage. In other words, the rates, there's too close of a spread.
There's no
benefit.
reason. Yeah.
So I think that with rates going up, we're already seeing loan applications decreasing. Again, Wall Street, they make money in the secondary market, so in a way to encourage more volume, we're going to see more programs. I have a feeling that we'll see the spread between an adjustable rate and a 30-year fixed get greater. And I think we'll see prepayment penalties coming back a little bit more and efforts to get a better rate. I priced out a 5-year fixed ARM the other day, and if I put a 1-year prepayment penalty on it, it bettered the rate by 3/8 of a point. Well, in most cases, the home buyer is not going to either refinance or sell the home in a year, so a 1-year prepay to get a 3/8 better interest rate may be something to look at.
And people staying in their homes longer. You know, I read a study somewhere that it's like up to 8 years. 8 to 10 years, people staying in their homes.
Yeah, much longer than
Which-
it used to be.
That's
reason-
long for me. That's long.
But think about you before this house.
Yeah, I rate the house that I raised you in.
No, not here. I'm talking about the house in, the rental you moved into, and you stayed there for a while.
8 years.
You're gonna be in this house probably for a while.
Till I die.
But having those numbers
Which is a lie. I'll move
is
again.
important because you may want to shy away from ARMs if you think you're going to be there a while, but you can go towards a prepayment penalty. I mean, give up some of your rights, and like for instance, I'm probably going to last only 1 year in my house. You know, if I had a 2-year prepayment, it would hurt me, or I would be forced to stay there,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So
That's when we do, and that's why we do a mortgage credit checkup on all our clients after the fact. After we close, we're going to look at their file and see if it makes sense to revisit or restructure their mortgage. We're going to have all these discussions well before we select the mortgage program. We are seeing the lender-paid mortgage insurance premiums are becoming more popular at a given loan-to-value. So rather than the borrower taking and paying a monthly mortgage insurance premium, they will take it and build it into the interest rate. And so as a loan originator, we are not just cookie-cutter looking at 30-year fixed mortgages anymore. We're presenting 4 or 5 loan options for each borrower and giving them knowledge to make an informed decision. So one more thing that I'm seeing with this market kind of there's more supply, as you guys know. I'm seeing more seller concessions. So in a situation where, let's say we're really tight on ratios, if I've got enough seller concessions, I can buy out the mortgage insurance. So you can pay it one time up front, and if I've got enough from the seller.
we're laughing because we have this debate about buyer and seller's market. So you saying more and more seller concessions.
I'm seeing
This
more.
guy over here is giving me the little evil eye going, yeah, well, that's the thing. It's more of what you're basically saying is what we're seeing. There's more reason to come to the table, right?
From a seller standpoint.
Exactly. There's more competition. There's more accountability. That's kind of become the theme of the day. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing with as far as concessions and hit numbers? Because of the market kind of stabilizing, are we still having appraisal issues?
I haven't had an appraisal issue in 3 months.
You better knock on wood.
I know. It's surprising. In fact, I had one, and maybe it's because the agents are making good competitive offers and doing their research up front, but I had one come in on a 214 contracted purchase price that came in at 217.
Nice.
And in most cases, appraisers are hesitant to bring it over a contract purchase price, even if there is room, because they fear getting red flagged in an audit and doing more work on the file when they don't have to. So yeah, I haven't had an appraisal shortage, surprisingly, in I want to say 3-4 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. You see, so some of the issues we're dealing with go away, and then you have new issues, and that's
Right.
just the
It's
way
all
it is with real
why-
estate.
It's the reason we use realtors, it's the reason that we
Yeah.
use mortgage brokers. To give you an example, I have a question for you. We have someone qualified by that TV loan, and in the TV loan, they said that they could count part-time work that they're not doing anymore as income for their loan, which is then bringing the price of the house higher.
Well, I've never heard of any income being given when you're not working. The only thing I can think of is that part-time work with the full-time employment is now getting paid more on the full-time employment, so, because you can't, they're gonna order a verification of employment if it's part-time.
And
it's
this is
working.
my point of using professionals in every part of this transaction, because smartly, our agent that's in this transaction said,
What the hell are you talking about?
what the hell, until I get verification of what you're talking about, I am not putting this offer in only to find out you can't afford the house.
No.
So I threw it out at you because it
Sure, I've
sounded
never
like,
heard of that. Because any employment, we're gonna document, whether it's second job, third job, or primary. They're gonna always do a verbal verification of employment at close of escrow to make sure that they're still working there. Few new programs are coming out. We are and have at my company FBC Mortgage an I-10 loan. That's a individual taxpayer identification loan where they do not necessarily have to have a social security number. The only requirement is that they're working here stateside for a minimum of 1 year, that they have an active visa, not a work visa, but just an active visa to be here in the United States. And we can give them a loan with 15% down with the back end ratio up to 55%.
Wow.
So essentially these are non-permanent resident alien loans with good terms. And I think it'll be a popular program.
That's huge.
So no longer do we have to have a social or a work visa to give a loan to a resident alien, or a non-resident.
I'm not touching that with a 10.
I was just about to say, are any
Either
of
way.
Are there any of them?
I'm gonna try a few just because I like the challenge. But, another thing too, I'm getting a lot of requests on non-mortgable condos. Those are condos that are either condotels, mid to high-rise condos. Those that have too much single entity investor saturation, where you have one person or corporation that owns too many of the units in the project, whether it be under litigation or has commercial space. All those we can still lend on. I'm doing a loan in the Palms right now, and it's a condotel. So there are certain variables that need to be in
Can you do
play.
signature?
I can do signature.
You can
Mhm.
now. Interesting.
Yeah. So I think the exciting thing about the mortgage environment slowing down some is there's more room for more programs, and it wasn't up until 08 until now. You know, I'm getting calls on state income loans, lenders that are now offering that again. So if anything, it allows us to identify the market where it is. It's allowing our clients that were fearful of, geez, maybe not getting in, or is the price too high? Now they can see it calming down some, so they can make an informed decision. So I think all in all, it's gonna be good once we can find a bottom to these interest rates, or a steadiness. My speculation is rates may be 6.25%, 6.5% this time next year. But it's still a good interest rate in my opinion.
So here's a question I got for you. And this, we can start talking about a couple of things that will play into the commitment to excellence, what's coming. I read, I want to say it was on Housing Wire, that there is more equity in homes than we've had maybe in the history of our country or in the last 20 years. I can't remember which stat it was. And then the second part of that was we're going to see more HELOCs than we have in more cash out refis. Are you starting to see any of that?
Good question. So the cash out refinances that I'm doing right now, much of the clientele have secured a low interest rate, like they're in 3s, low 4s, right? So it's very hard to do a rate term refinance. The only cash out refinances that we're doing are debt consolidation loans, where we're taking high interest rate credit card debt, unsecured debt, and wrapping it into a first deed of trust mortgage. In most cases, that client is still going to take a higher rate but they're gonna save money by virtue of it being a secured loan under one fixed 30-year fixed rate. That is the very reason why we're gonna see home equity line of credits become more popular, is because I could still keep my first deed of trust mortgage, say at 3.875%, and now I can access my equity without having to get rid of my.
And that makes a ton of sense, because now you're not gonna be able to get that. And the only thing is I believe, especially, we could talk about this after West too, but within the loan world, the next 5 years is gonna determine whether or not our slowdown, whenever that happens, is going to be slightly painful or very painful, right? Depending upon how, if you think about this, right? If we go all in on HELOCs and overextend stated, very crazy stated, then when it does adjust, it's gonna be a painful adjustment. If it changes now, before we jump into that stuff, how we deal with affordability is going to determine the next time we go through it, because people aren't overextended right now.
And we're gonna fall on a pillow rather than concrete, because people have to show their ability to pay a loan back. Right back before 2008, you didn't deserve a loan and couldn't afford it. Nowadays, you're vetted, and so I think you're less apt to walk away from the property.
Beautiful.
So,
well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna leave you with this. The thing with Wes is everyone does loans, just like everyone does realtors. But when you're dealing with a professional versus someone who is just really learning or isn't a full-time professional, there is a huge gap between the level of service and knowledge and someone who just doesn't have it. And with Wes, he has that very specialized expertise when it comes to what's going on in the market, what program works best for you, looking at your entire situation, and he has that care, loyalty, and obedience that we have to have in our industry in real estate. He has that for you. One of the few people I know that'll walk away from a loan and actually tell you this isn't a good deal for you, and literally keep money on the table. Right?
I often get joshed around the office because I say no more than I say yes. If I don't feel it to be financially fiscal for you to either refinance or buy a home, I'm the first to tell you no. Not most, but a lot of lenders look at a commission, and that's not my client. So if I can't put them in a better position, or at least achieve their homeownership dreams, then I serve them no purpose. So thanks you guys for having me.
No problem, man. Thanks for coming. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Little by little.
You guys have a good day.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
All right, so here we are. You know, my next Facebook Live from Making Sense Common is going to be called Winter is Coming. I don't want to use it all up today. Okay? All right. Behind me is a thing called the Commitment to Excellence. Okay?
Tell them how to get on and do it.
I don't know. So you can go to nar.realtor/commitment to excellence.
Yep.
So I don't have the flyer with me, and here's where we're at. One of the big buzz.
I sort of know.
All right, can I talk about the
Yes.
backstory?
Uh-huh.
There has been this push from national to state to local, all across the country, of raising the bar and just literally doubling down on professionalism in our industry. Now, there's a great debate on how you do this. And I personally think it goes down to two things. You raise the bar, which this is going to attempt to do, but also, here we go again, accountability / willing to say goodbye to a portion of the membership of the nation, right? We go back to that 1.3 million realtors, 3% are doing 2 deals a month, right? 7% of all realtors are making 93% of the income. So NAR, and National Association of Realtors, backed by some of my great friends there, very well-meaning, Brian Copeland has been kind of like an architect of this. Hagen Stone, I was on RPAC trustee fundraising committee with. Some really great, bright minds are pushing this forward, and this is the result. Whereas a list of things that it's like a higher level of being just a realtor. Now, my dad's going to talk about the positives. I'm going to talk about the challenges.
Okay, so on a state level, our president for the state next year is Keith Lyman. and his goal in his year, which is next year, is professionalism. So he is going to raise the bar in our education, making it a little harder to keep your license, to get your license, and to raise with classes more professional for our state. Now, to go to NAR, this is what NAR, it looks like 11 circles. You go on, they may ask you 3 questions. If you get those 3 questions right, you're done. You now move on to the next box and to the next box. The idea of this is that you will get a sticker at the end.
Self-assessment that measures your proficiency
Right.
in each areas of
Right.
professional, known as the C2X
Right.
competencies.
And you could play that little video if you want. It's very easy. The end is you'll get a commitment to excellence sticker saying you made it. You're allowed to use it in your marketing. To me, if I see commitment to excellence on an agent I'm working with, I would say, wow, they passed it, they did it. Obviously, they care enough to a commitment. Now, they're looking to put a little more teeth in it and maybe give you a certification and everything else. But right now, it's in its beginning stages. And it's easy for you to go on. You could go on and do 3 questions, stop. It's not you have to go class to class. And it's another tool to say that you're the bigger professional out there. So I'm going to start them when I have 2 minutes and see how I do. And if I don't do well, then the trick is, if you're in that circle, is to read the work that they've given you and take it again. It's not a test. It's just that when the 11 boxes are full, you will have the certification of commitment to excellence. Do I think it needs a little more teeth or guts? Absolutely. Do I think it's a beginning? Absolutely.
Do you have an ABR?
No.
How about a CRS?
No.
Do you have any of them?
No.
Why not?
Because
Then why are you going to have commitment to excellence?
I think commitment to excellence is trying to prove ethics and professionalism,
Yeah.
and I like the idea of that.
Listen.
And I could do it in my home.
I love the concept.
Well, it's a beginning.
I
concept.
love the concept, and I have not had conversations with the people here.
Mhm.
This just goes back again. Here's the caveat. Like I've been in that circle with you, and I'm still involved, and I love so many of the people that are involved in the National Association of Realtors. I consider friends of mine that give so much of their time to volunteer. But the problem is it does not go far enough, not nearly, because it's going to be the same agents.
It's a baby step.
The same agents that maybe have all of these designations, but they can't close a deal. Don't have professionals.
All right, there's a different story to this. First of all, you're not going to outside classes. Second of all, it's not costing you anything, not a penny.
Which doesn't even make it.
Third of
I
all,
wish it cost you something.
You have to go through it to get this commitment, and you have to pass. So the teeth to it is, if you answer those first 3 questions wrong, you're not going to pass. Do I think it's an end-all, be-all? No, it's in virgin territory. Do I think that if you want to read and try to get something out of this on your time to get better professionalism, I'm good.
So here's where it loses me. Until the priorities of an association change, that's where you'll show where they're really committed to. So my biggest beef with my beloved NAR is priority number 1 is size of membership. If priority number 1 becomes commitment to excellence and size of membership goes underneath there, then you have my attention. And maybe this is the baby step, because Realtor in itself, the fact that we're held to a code of ethics and a higher standard is what a Realtor is meant to be.
Right.
So this commitment of excellence shouldn't even be needed if we just adhere to what a Realtor should be.
But did you see why they started the commitment to excellence?
Because it's diluted what it is to be a Realtor.
Right. That they figured that if
but
people
don't you
take
think
this,
you're taking the long, soft way to solve an issue rather than dealing with the issue head on, and that is stop worrying about getting dues paid as a member to be able to say 1.3.
Unfortunately, money makes the world go round. Let's see how this goes. And next year, maybe another
They're
step.
gonna.
My advice.
You know what the Oakland soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders slogan is?
What?
Commitment to excellence. Did you know that?
No. But guess what? Then they got a good copy.
I suggest. My thing is this is a suggestion of excellence. It needs to be a higher standard. There needs to be more implementation of the rules we already have in.
Well, we're getting that. Remember, on the local level and on the state level,
you do.
we're going for it.
You do.
We're
And
going for it.
And the reality is, let's use the legislative arm of NAR, of the states and the local, to allow the state real estate divisions to hold the local associations to a higher level of professionalism, because that's the real way you get there. And you start having higher fines, more broker accountability, and that hurts us, right? But there's got to be a better way, because none of this means anything if it doesn't start from grassroots.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and debate the whole thing. What I'm saying is you could go to Commitment of Excellence, have it as your showing that you did a professional NAR approved program.
And
Later
you know
on, it'll grab some teeth.
You hear that? Echo, 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 echo chamber, echo chamber. This is what we do all the time. The beauty of the debates between you and me.
Yes.
Never end.
And the beauty of it is we're ever changing. We're not stuck in the mud, and we always want to evolve
That being
to
said,
a better company.
And I will do the commitment to excellence.
And
now,
so will I. And Jennifer's already doing it.
And we are going to push our company to go down this road. That being said, my worry is this. If this thing right here, the R, right, is diluted, then the C2X, what's to say that that doesn't become the same dilution, and all we have to do is now we have the second level of commitment
Well, let's see
to
if you
excellence.
could pass the test there, boy.
Should we try to even define commitment? What a true commitment is, taking risk, and there's something to potentially lose. There's nothing to lose here. There's no skin in the game. And I'm like, go further. You're going down the right path, but go the whole way.
What's that saying? Sometimes you gotta walk before you run. We're walking.
We're walking, and
We're walking.
We're
With
about,
you and me. No.
We're about 26 miles behind in a marathon. That's 26 miles. So we are I get about that time. Look forward to. I think I'm gonna do Winter is Coming on my own. You wanna?
Yeah,
be
no,
part
it's
of
all
that?
you.
All right. So look for
Potluck,
Winter is Coming.
We're not doing.
That is coming. We have we didn't put it out here. The 7th annual Urban Nest. What is it called? Holiday party.
Oh, Madonna.
You know, I'm getting distracted by people walking.
Yeah.
We are also having it at the JW Marriott where WCR is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're with Urban Nest, please reach out. Oh, actually, just wait for the flyer. We will have it. And that is it. 7th annual. We're going to be in the top.
And
How many people we're going to have at that thing? How many people you think?
Oh, 400.
We're going to go 400.
Yeah. Danny and I will be sitting on each other's shoulders at 420, and that basically would be a huge cutoff. Or they could sit outside and play the machines. I mean, that's all we got.
I got married in not that room, but in that hotel. Yeah. Yesterday was my 8th anniversary.
Oh, why didn't you say something? Happy anniversary.
Because Angie and I kind of celebrated in Boston.
Oh, but I didn't know. Happy anniversary.
I was 8 years, huh? 10, we're gonna get remarried.
Wow, is that another party?
Another party. You want to pay for that one too?
Might as well. Pay for the first one. Might as well go in.
You want to pay for that one too?
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any value from this, and you want to share it to the rest of the world, other industry people, or anyone in the public, go for it. And that is it. Thank you for coming today.
Thank
Pops.
you.
All right. Take care.